What's that? Very creepy. Looks like something out of Blair Witch. Hello? It's like one of those found footage films, those creepy ones. And would you believe it? The internet is not happy about something I've put on my video. Some of the traffic that's been coming in on YouTube, or people searching on YouTube for the Ricoh GR III, come across my last video, which was a Q&A that my subscribers had asked me, and then I put in some answers about the Ricoh GR III. I think some people were expecting me to talk about the GR III when it was announced, but it's brought that outside traffic in, and they're whinging because it's all the questions that my subscribers were asking me. So I thought I would do a dedicated video out in the woods in the middle of nowhere to go over the specs of the Ricoh GR III. But before I actually jump into the actual specs, just to note that the GR II will probably rapidly start dropping in price now it's been announced. As soon as there's a specific date, and I do not have a specific date, that's when the prices will likely go down the most. And now for the important stuff. 24 megapixels, so that's an improvement on the 16 from the GR II. That makes sense. That is an important one for people that are that interested in resolution, that interested in megapixels. Macro, close macro focus from 10 centimeters to 6 centimeters. That's a big one for me. Macro feature was always something that I used a lot. I'd say it's about that, and now it's going to be 6, which is more like that. And that's just really handy. I know it's not that useful to everybody, but for me that's a big one. I mean, it's not perfect, it's not one-to-one macro, but it's you know, you're not going to get it. I mean, even on this camera you can get a lot closer. 3-axis image stabilization. There's 5 on this one, so it'll be interesting what they do with 3. So 3-axis image stabilization is an interesting one. I mean, I personally don't believe that all cameras, or certainly stills cameras, photography cameras, necessarily need IS in them. What I've found since moving over to Micro Four Thirds, using them when I've been out and shooting photography, although I mostly shoot film, is that actually it is quite handy to have. It allows you to shoot in low light. It gets rid of that, oh, you can't use Micro Four Thirds in low light. Well, it actually can. The image stabilization is spot on, especially in the EM1 Mark II. If it could be worked with the video mode, that would be fantastic. Touchscreen, not fussed about touchscreen. To be perfectly honest, I know some people are not asked about it, but been announced, people want it, they've stuck it in, it's the thing, it's the modern thing, what you're gonna do. I've not ever found it very helpful. Touchscreens, they jump all over the place, they're slow, they're less intuitive, it's a pain in the arse, but some people love it, and it's really important to some people, so it makes sense, and they've gone that direction with it. Internal storage, 2GB, now that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's handy, it's good. As long as it can take a card, and I think it can actually take a card as well, so that's all you need really. Yeah, it's handy. In a pinch, if you're full on a card, you've only taken one card, we're running out of cards. So they claim to have updated the video features, which is fantastic. I know a lot of people, it's a stills camera. It's a stills camera, but I've used it now and again for B-rolls. There's times when batteries have died on cameras I'm using that are recording while we're out and about, and because we're running gun, the Ricoh GR II was just handy to come out and shoot with. Just a quick insight that the video is going to be MPEG H.264 sRGCM Adobe RGB. That's really helpful, that's really handy for Premiere and things like that. Anyway, hopefully that will make incoming traffic from outside my usual subscribers a bit more happy about the Ricoh GR III, because they're obviously scrolling through everything and they came across my Q&A and they're going through all the stuff and they're not used to seeing me, so it makes sense that they're not interested in questions that people would ask me and that were interested in the Ricoh GR III part, so that's fair enough, it's there now. So yeah, in conclusion, the GR III is a worthwhile update to Ricoh GR II. I'm certainly going to be getting it when it comes out. It's going to be really important to street shooters and those that love the GR II. I think it's been long awaited for the GR III to come out, and especially with 24 megapixels, the snap function, improved autofocus, which is important because the autofocus was slow, and I know you get the Ricoh GR II and the Ricoh GR series, you get it for the snap function, which is really quick, but the autofocus was fairly slow, so having that improved is only a good thing. Don't forget to check out my website, www.slyelessar.com. It's got articles on there, it's got photography on there, it's got what I'm doing, it's updated weekly content and articles. It's worth looking at, yeah? And you can submit comments for my Q&A, that's the best place to do it. Anyway, I'm going to go and carry on walking through the woods, these spooky woods, and I'm Slyelessar. Have a good one. I'm lost. I'm so not made for the wilderness. All I came with was a little bit of water and a packet of Monster Munch. How am I going to survive on a packet of Monster Munch? This is where when I play the footage back from that really creepy place, there's something in the trees in the corner or something.